Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ray Hall Tech. In today's video, I'm going to work on a TV. It's a Samsung TV, and the previous owner gave it to me because they said while they were watching it, it just turned off. They did some troubleshooting and decided that it was not something that they could fix, and they thought that maybe I could fix it. And so I verified what they said, which I'll show you in the video coming up. Once I diagnosed it, then I went ahead and ordered some circuit boards for it. I actually have those in, and so the TV has been opened before, so when we're going through this, there's going to be a couple cables connected because I never reconnected them in lieu of getting these parts before I did that. So let's get into it, and I'll show you what I did to get this TV back up and running. Before I repair the TV, I want to show you the problem that it's experiencing. And the backlight turns on and turns off just like you saw there. If I focus on the LED, you'll see that it flashes really quick twice, and the LED will just repeat that with a delay in the middle. And if I look at the screen just a little bit, you'll see that the screen will turn on like that and then turn back off. That's what the screen does, and this is why this TV needs to be repaired. This TV is a 65-inch Samsung TV, and this is one of their screwless models. You take it apart by popping the sides and top edges. They do make a tool that you can find on eBay, but you can do it with a flat blade screwdriver. Just make sure that you don't run anything across the bottom because you can damage the cables for the LCD. About an inch in from either side, there is a small hole. You can stick your tool or your screwdriver in that hole. Once you lift a little bit, you're going to hear a pop, and then you just want to slide your screwdriver in and up the sides. About an inch, inch and a half is all you need, because there's some wires and plastic clips from the back that are connected together. And when you're popping off the back, sometimes I have it reconnect, and it'll give me a little bit of an issue pulling the back off. So when you're separating it, keep that in mind that you might need to run your screwdriver back along one side or the other. So here I'm going to move over to the top, and you can see it's just the exact same process on the top. Try and avoid sliding it if you can. Put it on something soft. That way you don't scratch the bezel on the screen. But once I get everything popped, we're going to pull this screen off, the back cover off, by lifting it from the top. And as I mentioned in the intro, I did have this TV open once already. There's a couple disconnected cables in there. I just wanted to diagnose the TV to make sure I had everything so I could record this video in a single session. So here's what I was talking about, where I'm trying to lift off the back cover, and it actually reconnected on the other side. The system, the way it's designed, it just happens, even under its own weight of the TV, it can kind of pop off. Now that I got the back cover off, you can see pretty much everything inside of the TV. I should note that I'm kind of pointing to the sticker here on the side of the screen. That sticker is what I use to get the model number and record all of the information for the TV so I could find the right power supply and logic board. When I had this apart before, I couldn't get these cables to lay down. I don't know if that's an issue. I didn't have any Kapton tape, so I used painter's tape instead. I think as long as the cables are not getting pinched or marred in any way by the back cover, it's going to work just fine. Depending on your TV, you could have two boards like this TV. You might have multiple boards. For example, the power supply could be in two boards, and you could have a logic board and a timing controller as two separate boards. But in this particular case, the logic board and the timing controller, or TCON board, are built into the logic board. This power supply is one unit, and to supply power to the backlights and the screen itself, you have a single connector. The board slides into that connector. Sometimes you have a separate board for that, but in this case, again, you just kind of have to look to see if you're going to have one board or multiple boards for your power supply. Let me go ahead and get the cables disconnected. I'm going to pull the black cable first, and then that will disconnect the power for the logic board. I'll pull the ribbon cables for the screen next. I already had this TV open, so here there is a speaker connector and the power button connector that are already disconnected. So I'm going to make sure I reconnect those when we're done. But to get this off, there's some metal connectors. Just kind of lift a little bit at the retaining clip and it slides out. The same thing works for the power supply, but you have to lift a clip for the LCD screen power. And once you slide it off to the side, you are good to go. That removes both boards from the TV, and that's what we're going to replace. For this TV, I bought both boards in the TV. The power supply is what is most likely the failure point. If you look online at the symptoms of the TV and that double flash on the LED, it seems most people agree that the power supply is at fault when you see those symptoms. The problem is, when the power supply failed, I don't know if it damaged anything else in the TV. It likely didn't, but I don't know how it failed. And if you had more electronics experience than I did, you could probably repair the power supply and the logic board. And that's just not something I have the tools to do at that level. I do some soldering and do a lot of repairs like swapping jacks and stuff like that, but I need more experience to be able to actually troubleshoot a power supply. And the components of a power supply can actually be dangerous, so I don't want to do any attempts at repair on theirs unless I actually know what I'm doing. So let me go ahead and get this package open, and once it's open, I will pull out its contents. I think I need to sharpen my knife. This is not going very well. Opening the box, you can see that everything is packed in paper, and I'm going to unwrap this first board here. I'm not sure which board is which in here, but it looks like they gave me the cables with the logic board. That was the first one that I unwrapped. I'm not going to use the cables that came in the box. I don't think that's going to be necessary. So this package here then has to be the power supply. Let me get that unwrapped, and I'll throw the trash off to the side. Just a quick look to orient the boards, quick visual comparison. Everything on the boards themselves looks very similar. Not exactly the same color on everything, but all in all, the part numbers on the top of the boards do match, and everything's laid out the same, so I think I did good when I identified the model and revision and what I needed to buy. So when I lay this in, I want to make sure that the clips in the corners actually get clipped in place. If I don't do that, the board will not be secure, so you can actually lift up on the back like that. So let me pull it back out, and I will reseat the clips just to make sure this board is nice and secure. So just check for that if you swap out the board in your TV. And here now you can see they're secure and they did not lift up. Let me go ahead and connect the power supply cable for the logic board. And the LCD automatically connected because of the way the board slides in. So make sure you don't damage that connector. The old board, I just put it in the bag for temporary keeping. I don't know that I'll do anything with it. And then I'm going to unbox the logic board here. Again, I don't need any of the cables that came with it, so I'm just going to set them off to the side and remove the power button connector. I don't think it's necessary. The connector looks the same. If I have a problem plugging it in, I could always swap that out. The plastic shielding doesn't come on the new board. You can see I need to take that off of the old board. There's just some clips here on the back. It looks like there's 3 of them. So let me get my screwdriver and I will pop those off real quick. It's just going to be gentle so I don't actually break the plastic. Once I get this plastic framing off, I will go ahead and swap it to the other board. Again, this plastic can be fragile, so just take your time. Make sure you don't damage anything when you're doing the swap. All you have to do is make sure that you line it up. Oh, I'm off a little bit. There we go. And once it's lined up, everything should just snap into place. And here you can see again the 3 clips on the bottom. Just a little bit better view here for you. If you need to take it off, you can see what you're looking for there. And on this one, you can see the hole that these clips need to go into. There's actually 4 of them on this board instead of 2 like the power supply. So I'm going to lay that in, make sure everything's lined up correctly, and just quickly check the 4 points. And then we're going to slide it over. That way I'm sure that board is in place and it's not going to move. Alright, so with the board secure, I'm going to plug all of these cables back in real quick. And it does not look like I need the cable that came with the logic board. This power button is exactly the same, which makes sense since I got the same revision of TV. Sliding the ribbon cables in, you just want to make sure that they're in all the way and flat. That one was giving me a little bit of grief trying to get around a couple of the tabs on the side that help them not pull out. But once they're in and straight, you just clamp them in place, and then you don't have to worry about those too much. So now I'm going to plug in the power connector. I just need to orient it the right way. And that covers all of the connectors on the board. It doesn't look like my tape is sticking, so I'll probably just ignore the cables and just do a quick double check to make sure I'm not missing anything. And then I'll get my trash out of the way here, put that in the recycle pile, and I need to go get the cables, so I'll be right back. Now that I'm back, I have the power cord and the remote. That's what I meant when I said I need to go get the cables, because we're actually ready to test this TV. And unfortunately, my power jack is on the wall behind those chairs, so I need to flip this TV around so that I can plug it in. This TV isn't that heavy, but I just want to be careful not to flex anything. And it looks like I found a plastic clip. It doesn't look like it came from the TV here. I can't see anything here. I'll have to check it and see if it came from the back. But it looks like the LCD is still clipped in, so more than likely it's from the back cover. Alright, let me get the power plugged in here real quick. With it plugged into the wall, it looks like the TV lit up on its own. The backlight turned on and off, and there it just came back on, and it is on solid. Let me lift up the TV here. There you go. It looks like the TV is working. It has no signal. You saw some of the smart apps there on the screen. So it looks like with that power supply replacement, I did in fact fix it. So I will get the back cover put back on. Let me shut that off, and I'll be right back with the other parts. When I was bringing the back cover over, I noticed I was missing a couple of clips. Here, these wires that I'm showing you actually hold the back cover in place. I don't know if I went in too deep with my screwdriver, if I pried too hard. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I broke a couple of the clips off, so I need to fix those before I move forward. I use JB Weld Plastic Bonder. It is a 1500 psi epoxy. I don't think super glue works well enough. If you were to separate the TV again, super glue would just split and those clips would come right back off. So I'm going to go ahead and repair the first clip and then continue on with reassembling the TV. But I could only find one of the 2 clips, so I'm going to have to reassemble it with one missing. I'm going to go ahead and lift the back into place. I need to flip it around because of the way I had it on the table for fixing the clip, but once I get it flipped around, I'm going to start with the bottom. I need to clip in the bottom first and make sure that everything is working. Again, we're just basically putting it on in reverse order. So once I get the bottom clipped in here, I'm going to start there, and then I will work my way around the outside edges, and we're just pushing those black plastic clips back into the wires to make sure that the back of the TV stays in place. Let me move around to the other side here, and we'll just gently push each part into place, making sure that the TV is still staying flat and that I don't have anything in the way. Again, I don't want to smash those cables or cause any problems internally, so I'm just going to take my time as I push this in place, and there's no need to force. It should just fit as you put it together. So let me go ahead and adjust the camera here, and we'll move on to the next step of testing it now that it's put back together. So I have flipped over the TV and I have it in place so that it can be plugged in. I'm going to come around and move the camera so that we have a little bit better viewpoint of the screen itself. And I don't anticipate any problems at this point. I have the back cover on so the TV feels nice and secure. When I'm moving it around, it doesn't feel like it's going to flex and crack the screen. But notice that the power light is no longer flashing because we booted it. The TV does know that it's working, so it's no longer sending that error code to the power switch. But the TV did turn on fine, so I'm going to wash off any smudges or streaks that I can see. And one of the big important things is, because this was a previously owned TV, I need to find a way to reset it. And I'm not quite sure how to do that in this Samsung, so I will look for that next. But all in all, everything is working. I just want to make sure that I don't violate somebody's privacy if there happens to be any information on this TV from the board that I put in. And with that, this video, the goal was to repair this TV, so I'm going to bring it to a close. If you like this video, definitely give me that thumbs up. If you didn't like something, tell me why in the comments. And if you want to watch more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in a future video. Thank you so much.